Canelo Crawford. I know earlier in my YouTube videos, I said that I wasn't a fan of the fight. However, my personal biases have to be set to the side because this fight is happening. And one of my synopses, possibly highly incorrect, which was that Bud is too small to fight Canelo. But when we seen the face-to-face scenario, it appears Bud has the height advantage. So let's get into this video a bit. I made a post on Facebook and in my YouTube community giving my synopsis on why I think this could be a dead even fight. You see people talk about Bud is the more superior boxer. You see people talk about Canelo is the harder hitter. And in my opinion, both of these are true. But I want to dive a bit deeper into it and give my personal synopsis on, because this fight is happening now, why each fighter has an advantage or a disadvantage. So I'll start with Canelo. Canelo Alvarez has obviously slowed down huge. Canelo is a flat-footed fighter. So what he's going to expect to do to Bud when he gets out there to fight is to have Bud stand still and sit there and trade off. That's not going to happen. I don't care that Bud is the older fighter of the two. Like right now, Bud is 37 and Canelo is 34. So your age will play a factor. But Canelo is not a fighter who is even effective at cutting off the ring. For a long time, he still chased Jermell Charlo around. He was not able to cut the ring off in his last fight with William Skull. So I don't predict Terence Crawford moving around as much as William Skull, but he's definitely not going to stand there and trade shots with Canelo, because I do give the advantage of power to Canelo. Should he connect with something heavy, it's going to hurt. And with Terence Crawford, there were a few moments in the Madrimov fight where Madrimov was getting off on Bud, but it's a pro fight, so you're going to get hit, you're going to make exchanges, but I don't think that Bud adjusted enough at 154 when he faced Madrimov to put on 14 more pounds to go to 168 to fight Canelo Alvarez. Bud didn't look as fast when he fought Madrimov, and he's going to put on 14 more pounds and go up to fight Canelo Alvarez, which makes him even slower. Slower and his age. I'm not a big proponent for age. I am a huge advocate for it never being too late to do anything. I'm 44 years old myself. So when I deal with my clients and me teaching boxing and me teaching Capoeira and me being a personal trainer, I don't accept age as an excuse. However, on the pro lane or in the pro league, with it being 36 minutes carrying around the heavier frame, I personally don't know how that's going to adjust or how that's going to affect Bud Crawford. It may or it may not. It's definitely going to make his shots land harder, but how much fatigue is that going to set in carrying around the heavier frame for that amount of time? Canelo Alvarez is a one-punch fighter now. He used to run his hands a bit more when he was a bit lighter. He used to have better head movement, like when he fought Danny Jacobs. That was the elite moment or elite time for Canelo's head movement and countering. That Canelo Alvarez is gone. Right now, we're looking at the Edgar Berlanga fighting Canelo Alvarez, who's going to march forward flat-footedly. It's not going to be a fast march forward. Absorb the shots on his gloves and his forearms and hope to counter and land something hella hellacious and hurt Bud. Bud's not going to stand there and take that. Bud's going to move. He's going to position. So he does have these superior boxing skills. Also, one of the biggest complaints that I personally have with Canelo Alvarez is he doesn't double the jab. He doesn't triple the jab. Why doesn't he double or triple the jab? Because his footwork is that bad. You have to stay right there with Canelo in an orbit. The rest of the ring can't be a factor, or else Canelo's in trouble. So Canelo can be outboxed by Terrence Crawford's movements and his countering. So that's a bad thing when it comes to Canelo's advantages or disadvantage. He has to be able to move his feet. He can't move his feet like Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford also can switch from orthodox to southpaw, and that's going to give Canelo some issues. So as I'm making this video, in my head, I'm more so leaning towards Bud Crawford being that guy to beat Canelo. Bud Crawford, like I said, didn't adjust, in my opinion, didn't adjust at 54 well enough. He didn't have enough time at 54. You know, he has no purpose of going back down to 47 to fight Boots or whatnot. So he only had one fight at 54. He's going to have the biggest fight of his career, I say of his career, with Canelo, and then he's going to retire. He has nothing else to stick around for. What else is there for him to prove? He's been undisputed in multiple weight classes. If he goes up here and defeats Canelo, which he can, if he goes up here and defeats Canelo, hey man, I saw somebody else say it. He's in category for GOAT. Somebody said he's in category for GOAT over Mayweather. I have to tend to agree. I know that's going to be a statement that is pretty, how can I say, fought back against in the boxing community. However, if you make this argument, you have to state or understand the fact that, yes, Mayweather has fought more world champions, but Bud has been undisputed in multiple weight classes. Mayweather was never undisputed. He was chasing the green belts, chasing those WBCs. He was more business minded as far as that goes. So Mayweather showed the business blueprint as far as, you know, obtaining the green belts, the WBC belts, and maybe they were paying the highest ticket and highest figure at that time. And maybe their business deal just made sense. But as far as an accomplished fighter, I got to rock with Bud. I definitely have to rock with Bud. If he goes up here and dethrones Canelo at super middleweight and he becomes the undisputed super middleweight champion, he's goated. He's goated. That's an irrefutable fact. He's goated. Did Mayweather put on a lot of shows? Yeah, Mayweather did great. He did his thing. He had his time. If Bud defeats Canelo, it's Terrence Crawford time. It's Bud Crawford time. And I'm going to go ahead and give him the GOAT. He's got to do that. And he has the opportunity to do so. Like I said, him moving up to 68, he might be a bit slower. He might be a bit heavier. However, his hands are faster than Canelo's. Right now, his defense is more accurate than Canelo's. His footwork is more accurate than Canelo's. And we see what he did to a slow-footed fighter in Errol Spence Jr. He picked him apart badly. Now, my biggest concern on Terrence Crawford's defeating Canelo Alvarez is Canelo's never been hurt. He's been wobbled earlier in his career against a younger Miguel Cotto's family, but that was way earlier. Canelo has fought some heavy hitters, and he's been hit hard against those heavy hitters. He's fought Triple G 3 times. He's fought Dmitry Bivol. He's fought Kovalev. He's fought some hammer-handed individuals and has not as little as taken a knee. So the possibility of Bud hurting Canelo is pretty minimal. It could happen. I mean, who knows? It could happen. It might be a body shot. You're not going to hurt Canelo to the head, so it might be a body shot that hurts Canelo. We've never seen Canelo take a knee. Bud may be that guy to do it. You know, so the manner in which Bud Crawford goes out here and becomes victorious over Canelo is definitely going to make him GOAT status over Mayweather. You know, the Mayweather effect is going to have to get pushed to the side, which is the businessman effect, where you're just chasing belts, you're chasing, instead of chasing undisputed status, you're chasing the green belts and you're chasing the money. The younger generation understands that, we have to get the money. However, legacy is going to be reinstilled. You see that within Terrence Crawford. You see that within Naoya Inoue. These guys are taking risk. They're going up, they're taking risk, and they're chasing undisputed, and I respect it highly. Terrence Crawford has the skills and the strength and the footwork to take Canelo into deep water and win. Canelo has slowed down tremendously. He's only looking for one punch at a time. That's not going to work with Bud. That's not, you can't compare Bud to Jamel Crawford. Not Jamel Crawford, Jamel Charlo. You can't compare Bud to Charlo. Canelo walked Charlo down and kind of chased him around or whatnot, and that was one of the most boring fights ever. Canelo's last 3 to 4 fights have been extremely boring or lackluster. The Jaime Munguia fight, the Jermell Charlo fight, the Edgar Berlanga fight, the William Skull fight, So Canelo's not putting out any more impressive performances. That's how I can guarantee. Especially if he wins, this is the last fight for him. He's hanging him up. He has nothing else to prove, nothing else to do. With Terrence Crawford, he'll also have nothing else to prove. Could he fight again if he wanted to? Yeah, he has the physical ability. And yeah, Bud is just a dog. Like, he can hit a gear. When he fought Sean Porter and they told him that Porter was up, Bud can change gears. So Bud has this level of dog in him that I haven't seen in, current fighters along the board, across the board. Bud has a gear that he can switch into. That man will decimate you. And I think that he can do that when it comes to this fight. Terrence Crawford has the advantage. I was saying that this was a dead even fight, but me going into this video right now and describing it a bit deeper, Terrence Crawford has the advantage. I think Terrence Crawford is actually going to win and pull it off. You can put me on video, which you are right now because you're watching the video. So I'm on video and I'm on record saying Terrence Crawford's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. Canelo wants you to fight in the box for him to win. He's better off fighting in a 4-foot ring. So the ring size is going to be something also that I'm going to watch. Is he going to pick a bigger ring or a smaller ring? Who's going to pick the ring? What the material is going to be made of, a soft ring or a hard ring. A softer ring is going to, slow down Crawford's footwork. A bigger ring will give Crawford the advantage to move around. A smaller ring is going to keep him, in a small phone booth. So there are a lot of variables that are going to happen as to where I'm going to really be paying attention. And you should too. All of these things count. So in order for Canelo to win, he's got to fight Crawford in a phone booth. It's not going to happen. Canelo is going to take those desperate swings. He's going to miss a lot of shots. Bud's going to make him pay. Hey, man, Bud for the win. What do you think? Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I got Bud for the win.